Boom.
We're back.
What's going on, mate? You good?
Yes, all good, Joe boy. Nice and early. What's the time here? 7:25. Joe's a working man, so we've had to get it done early, but we don't mind an early morning, do we?
No, that's it. To be honest, mate, I quite like getting up and getting things done in the morning.
Yeah, I'm an early bird. No, well, yeah, I would say so. I'm more likely to be up early than I am to be up late, I think.
I'm the same. I don't think we get a guest at this time, though.
No, it's a little bit too early for your average guy, innit? Yeah, fucking big weekend, wasn't it?
Crazy, wasn't it? Absolutely. I don't know about you. Did you watch it the next day?
I watched it the morning. I didn't know the results, but I watched it the morning.
Yeah. Did you watch it on TNT?
Yeah. Well, Discovery Plus, which I think is like it's the same thing, innit? They have they like the new BT Sports app and they the Discovery app.
Because I went on that TNT and it, like the headline to the clip was who won. And I was like, fuck, I already know now. I
hate it when they do shit like that. They used to do that on the BT Sports app as well. Like I always remember it was when Adesanya beat Pereira. So I've they were having issues with the app for me, and I've gone on it to watch the fight. Obviously, I haven't looked at my phone because I always get up, don't look at my phone. And it was like Adesanya KO's Pereira, and I'm like, what? Fucking no point me watching the show.
No, that's it. Well, like, surely they get loads less views as well. Yeah. Like, don't they have people doing that?
Well, I was always like, I'm always like a bit wary of it. Every time I loaded up the Discovery app on my telly, it come up like search at the top was like search UFC events, and I thought, I'm not gonna click on this now, man, and see an headline. But luckily, I clicked on it, and straight away it was like UFC 295 main cards. I was like, chuck it straight on. But the entire card was brilliant, to be fair. Like the entire main card, I think it was 5 finishes. Every single fight you had. Diego Lopez finished Pat Sabatini. He's a fucking beast. I think he's come in short notice. He did, and he fought what's his name? He's fighting now, the Russian kid who's undefeated. Proper real good fight, even though he lost, and he's had like 3 straight knockouts since, and apparently he's in like an elite level black belt as well. So he looked really good. Benoit Saint Denis, he's like just a fucking killing machine, and he like ex French special forces. Been training MMA since 2019 apparently.
That'd be a scary guy to come across.
Yeah, so he's going to go into the rankings now. He's calling out Gaethje, he's calling out Poirier. He literally hit him with a street fight head kick. Just literally run after him straight down and just booted him straight in the mush. Jessica Andrade and Mackenzie Dern, that was a really good fight as well. They were back and forth. Andrade obviously ended up TKOing her, but there was a good scrap. And then obviously got the co-main then. Like, my missus was upstairs. She didn't come down. She was awake with a baby, but she was upstairs and she could just hear me fucking shouting at the screen. So, a little bit similar to you. I ended up opening a message off my mother on my phone, and somehow the first thing that was on was Instagram, and a clip popped up and I could see it was Aspinall and Pavlovich like fighting, and I was thinking, fucking hell, someone's been knocked out.
Close your eyes, like.
Didn't expect it to be that fast, mine. So like the fight started, didn't it? And I loved the bit at the beginning when they were where they like, put their arms on each other, and you feel like you got probably the 2 biggest, scariest guys in the UFC. And there's like no bad blood, nothing. Just put their hands on each other, shook hands, had a little hug, and was like, right, let's get out there and have it. And Tom looked fucking unbelievable. I mean, he did get caught with like a little shot early on, and you've seen it not stiffen him, but you've seen him like react to it. You know what I mean? You've seen him like compose himself a bit. His head movement was unbelievable, and he was slipping and sliding the shots.
Does not look like a heavyweight, does he, when he's fighting?
When he hit him with that, I think it was like a left up. It was like I touched him in the left up right hand, and he like stiffened him.
And another one in the pocket.
Before I could even shout, fucking got him. He's that fast. He like hit him with the left, right, and the minute he's like seen, he just go boom, boom, 1, 2, straight down a pipe, clean as they come. Like, and that's a guy as well. So not only has he beat Pavlovich, who was like 18-1, 18 knockouts. He's beat him at his own game, and this is what we was kind of we were saying it. You lost the fucking footage, but
that's right.
This is what we was saying, wasn't it? We were saying that people get carried away sometimes with Pavlovich is the bigger puncher. It's like it's heavyweight MMA. Aspinall's 260 pound, 6'5". If he catches you, like it's great being the biggest puncher in the division, but if a 265 or 260 guy catches you clean on the chin, he's going to be able to pull you out as well. And I said that, didn't I? In the build-up, I said, don't get carried away with the fact that Pavlovich is the bigger puncher, because Tom can fucking bang as well. And
Is he though? Like, do you know what I mean? Because you see a lot of Tom's fights. A lot of them are finishes as well.
Yeah,
so.
well, again, when you're 260 pound, 6'5", when you move it and it's as fast as a middleweight, chances are if you land, you're gonna put people out. And
you watch him do that with like zero camp. He pulled his back. I seen the clip of him pulling his back.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Like all that added up with all that pressure of going in there, not knowing if you were going to be able to perform or not, and to be able to do that.
Oh, it was unbelievable. Like I was genuinely as happy. I was as happy for him as if one of the boys had won the title, because he is just generally one of the good guys in the sport. Like his entire fight week was fucking brilliant, because he was like, he was saying like, I'm scared. He's like, yeah, I'm scared of him. He said he's a big scary Russian guy. Like he said, I'm scared of him, but he said something along the lines, I've got a good relationship with fear, and when I'm scared, that's when I perform the best, and that's when I'm most dangerous. And I seen comments off people online in the week. You shouldn't read the comments, but people saying like, Tom's petrified, he's gonna get starting around. It's like, just goes to show, you haven't got to be in there giving it the big I am and putting on the brave face and say, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. Like he openly admitted all the fight week, yeah, I'm scared. He's a big scary guy, but I'm still gonna beat him. And he said all week, didn't he? I'm round one. Like, I'm going to take him out. I thought it'd take a little bit longer. I thought he'd wear him down. The calf kicks, he smashed him a couple of calf kicks early, but just couldn't be happier for him. And I'm going to say something a little bit controversial here and probably get a load of fucking backlash on it. But I genuinely believe, watching that, and that's on, like you said, 2 weeks notice, with a pulled back, that he could beat Jon Jones.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I don't see, and I'm a Jon Jones super fan, right? Like for me, he's the best of all time, and I'll never argue any different. But there's no way, as a Jon Jones fan, you can watch Aspinall in that fight and say, yeah, Jon will walk through him.
Oh no, definitely not. He hasn't fought someone like him, has he?
He's the bigger puncher. Striking is, as good as a striker as Tom is. Jon's a very good striker himself. He's a little bit more elusive, but you always run that risk with someone as big as Tom, like catching you. Yeah, Jon probably got the edge in the wrestling, but I think someone as big as Tom, he's not like a Cyril Gane who's just a one-dimensional striker. You're not just going to grab Aspinall and put him down and so on. You're dealing with a very high-level black belt who's a big athletic guy who can wrestle as well. We've seen him double-leg guys and take them down and submit them. I think at this stage in his career, I generally think Tom could beat Bones.
Oh, definitely. And I mean,
come at me with the 8 if you want. But
Jon gets hit though as well, doesn't he? Like, there's not many of his fights where he hasn't been hit.
Yeah,
if he gets hit like that by Tom, I think it's going to.
He does get it, but he has also got like he's made different in like he got a chin of steel. Like, so I don't know if Tom would knock him out, but I don't know how it'd go. I mean, I generally think he could beat him, and I think he deserves that fight. Now I know it's a long way off with Jones's injury, and Jones might come out and prove us wrong and do to Tom what he did to Gane. I don't see it happening. I if I was allowed, I'd put an FD bet on it as well, because I generally think, I look at that heavyweight division now, and I generally think if he wants to, Aspinall, he can reign as champion there for the next 4 or 5 years, however long he want to go on for. I think his skill set is so well rounded. Like, he fights the big strikers. This time he didn't. He starched him out, but I don't think he's one of those guys who falls in love with a photo. I'm going to knock the guy out. We've seen him double leg. Like, what did he do to Volkov? I think he straight arm locked him, didn't he? Yeah. We've seen him choke out Orlovsky, and then also we've seen him have all these knockouts as well. And I seen, after the fight, they updated his average fight time, and I think Tom's average fight time now in the UFC is 2 minutes and 19 seconds, which is an absolutely fucking insane stat for someone who's like 8 or 9 fights deep into the UFC career. Unbelievable.
You'd like a bit of that, wouldn't you? A bit of less time in there.
Yeah, won't we all? We don't want to be in the all this shit here. People say like, I just wanted to get the rounds in. It's bullshit. If you can get him out there in 2 minutes, you get him out there in 2 minutes, like every single time.
Do you find that's just an excuse for people on the back end of a fight?
I think it's more so a thing in boxing. Like, I think when the bigger guys, the bigger names might have a loss and have a year or so off, and they come back, they want to get the rounds in. I think it's more of a thing. But I think in MMA, it's like, you're telling me you take a 5-round decision to get the rounds in over a 1 minute knockout? You wouldn't, would you? You're taking the 1 minute every time. There's
too many ways to lose as well in there.
Oh yeah, it's different, isn't it? Yeah, in boxing, if you've got the measure of someone 9 times out of 10, you've got the measure of someone. In MMA, it can be snatched from you in the glimpse of an eye, can't it?
Yeah. What do you think of that main event?
Ooh. Alex Pereira is one scary motherfudger.
isn't he? For sure.
Did you see the there's a clip going on. Do you see there's a clip on of the stare down before the fight in the cage, but there's also one of when Yuri's walking out and Pereira's just stood there like a fucking he calls, I think Powhatan means stone face or something like that, doesn't it?
Oh, is it? Yeah.
And he's just stood there in the cage not moving, just stone cold, just staring forward. And then Yuri gets in the cage and they just have that stare off. It was class. But he's just a beast, but he's a beast.
You see him with a bow and arrow?
Yeah, class. That calf kick, a calf kick is a massive weapon for anyone, but the way he does it, not only did they not see it coming, but I mean, he literally hit him with 2 calf kicks and his leg was already gone. He must just be made of steel. You could see it straight away. As soon as he started landing that calf kick, I thought, because Yuri's a mover, and he's bobbing and weaving and doing all this mad movement, he just neutralised him straight away. And it was a lot of positives for Alex, I thought. He got took down, but he got back up. You know, people seem to have this impression, get him down and you'll smoke him, but he got back up. Yeah. And, he just got that touch of death, haven't he?
I know. That was it, wasn't it? The second he caught
the right hand left up was it was like a touch and a touch. And he just went limp, didn't he? And
he kind of keeps everything real close to himself as well, doesn't he? Do you know what I mean?
Could argue it was a little bit of an early stoppage, I suppose, but there's an angle I seen on Instagram. I didn't see it. My old man showed me it because we had a bit of a thing about, was there an early stoppage? And he said, look at this I seen online. And when he rocks him and he falls in, so his hands are locked behind him and he starts dropping the elbows, and you see Yuri's hands go from locked and they go limp, and that's when he falls his back. So I think Mark Goddard have obviously seen that and thought he's out. Do you know what I mean? I think he hit the floor and come round a little bit. But he even said himself, didn't he? Yeah,
fair play to him though, isn't it? Because a lot of fighters at that point would have argued that to get the fight back, but he's just so honest and to the point, isn't he?
I love Yuri as well. He's a proper modern day samurai, and like you said, there was no bullshit, no early. It was just I was out, but I love it and I'll be back. And
have you seen the meme where it's everyone in the world debating the stoppage and Yuri just goes, I was out?
yeah. But yeah, Pereira's a beast. So I think let me work out how many fights he had. 2, then he fought Adesanya. Sorry, he had 2 for Strickland, Adesanya twice, Blachowicz, and Yuri. So in 7 UFC fights, he's had
5 champions, is it?
Well, four champions and Adesanya twice.
Yeah.
Knocked out Strickland, who's the current champ. Knocked out Adesanya, who was the champ. Lost to Adesanya. Beat Blachowicz, former champ, and just beat Yuri, who was the former champ, never lost the belt. So, you've got to start considering him. We said it on YouTube tonight. You've got to start considering him as one of, not the, but one of, not the MMA GOATs, but the combat sport GOATs. Because in 9 wins, he's become a 2-way UFC. He's the fastest ever. Do you see it? He's the fastest ever double champ in UFC history. Yeah. I think the one before him would have been McGregor, and McGregor done it pretty fast, in all fairness to him.
How many of them are there? There's only about 5, isn't
9. He's the 9th, I think.
9th, yeah.
He's the 9th. But yeah, unbelievable. Him and Jamal Hill is a serious scrap.
I think so as well, because you see what Jamal did to
Glover.
That isn't going to be an interesting fight.
Yeah, because he can bang as well, and Powhatan does get hit. He's not chinny by any, but he's been knocked out. You see, Yuri rocked him, but the problem is you rock him and rush him, and that's when he starts letting the fucking hands go, and then he ends up, because that was what it was. It was Yuri was coming forward, wasn't he, with momentum, and he's come forward, and he's just going boom, boom, and unbelievable card. From start to finish, it was class to watch. But Pereira might well be, along with Khamzat, my favourite fighter on the roster.
Yeah, they're just scary guys, aren't they?
He's just so scary, he's just so intense. But there's a good video going around on TNT of, obviously, people say he never smiles, does he? He's just constantly, straight-faced. And he's doing an interview with someone for TNT, and when someone says something, and then when someone tickles you and you can't stop, and he's gone as he can't stop laughing. He's trying to compose himself, and he's giggling. And I have to try and find it so we can put it up in the background. But
I've seen loads of clips of him having a laugh and having a joke.
You see him winding DC up as well, whacking DC in the back of the head as if he swung the golf. I think he's quite good with the banter, isn't he? He's just.
Did you see him with that Nina where she asked him what's the hardest English word to say?
No.
He was trying to say squirrel. He's like, it's squirrel, it's squirrel. Like, for about 10 minutes. Like,
but he's brilliant. I love watching him. Like, he's never been in a boring fight. Does he win or lose? So interesting to see. Like, he could retire now if he wanted. Two-weight glory world kickboxing champion, 2-weight UFC world champion. Like, not many people. Like, it was the illusion when he came in. I'd take him down. They'll skip him straight to the front because for your Adesanya, if he gets in against the rest, he's going to lose. It's like, no, I think you've got to start looking at this and thinking, I don't think it's quite as easy as...
Well, look at his fight with Jan compared to Izzy's fight with Jan as well, isn't it? That's a completely
I don't think it's as easy no more as getting there, take him down and you win. Like, he's shown he can get back up. He did it. Jan had his back for 4 minutes and didn't finish him. And Jan's a big physical fucking grappler. Like, Yuri have took him down. Like, and obviously to get him down, you got to get close to him and you run the risk of getting ploughed with the fucking hammers, don't you? You know what I mean?
Do you think he'll want to reign long in that division, though?
No, I don't think. He's young. Is he got to be 34, 35? I think maybe... Well, who's there for him, really?
Just Jamal, I suppose, it could feel like a bit of a unification, wouldn't it, if he fought him?
He's got to fight Jamal, isn't he? Because Jamal never lost the belt. And Ankalaev's there. But, you know, truth be told, I think he beats Jamal. He could well retire. I don't think we'd have any complaints, would we? But
since... like the last 2 years since Jones left, that division's kind of been all over the place.
Yeah, well, it's been like a whirlwind, hasn't it? The belt. Who's had the belt since Jones left? Yuri, Jan had it. Glover had it. Yuri had it. Jamal had it.
Yeah,
it's all
none of
over
them
the
have
shop.
been able to keep it, have they?
And two of them would give it that off their own back through injuries, which is kind of mad. But you know what I will say is with Pereira, I think he's driving on a fucking Lambo, so he must be getting paid very well.
Yeah,
so you know, I can't imagine. Perhaps he obviously loves fighting, and perhaps he will carry on going. But I think he's brilliant. He's definitely one of my favourites.
Yeah. What have you seen online? Leon Edwards calling for middleweight. Strickland if he gets this done against.
Yes,
Colby.
I did see that. I don't know how to feel about it. Not I'd be against him getting a title shot. I think he's definitely earned it and definitely capable of winning. But I just think at the minute, I think both divisions are pretty stacked. So I don't know how they do what the UFC would do with it. Because obviously, let's just say Duplessis beats Strickland. Then, just for argument's sake, they're going to do Duplessis and Adesanya. If then Adesanya beats Duplessis, they're going to do Strickland and Adesanya rematch. Kamzat is going to probably be in there for a title shot. Kamzat probably have the next title shot, won't he? So there's two fights there. The minute Adesanya says he's ready to come back, he's going to get a title shot. Whittaker's always, I know he's coming off a loss, but he's always lingering, you know what I mean?
He's a win away, isn't he? And
then let's look at the welterweight division. You've got, obviously, he's fighting Colby now, but you've got guys like Bilal Muhammad's not far off a title shot. Rachmanov is going to be knocking on the door. People even like Gilbert Burns and Usman's going to come back down, and like that's a pretty deep division. I think for me, I only want to see guys go up if like they cleaned out the division. Do you know what I mean? Or if they leave in the division for good. Like when McGregor did it, you know, you knock out Mendes, you knock out Aldo. There's no one left really in that division to fight.
He'd fought them all on the way up, and
same with DC. You know. He lost to Jones, didn't he? Did he win the belt back then? I can't remember, but he'd gone up to heavyweight. He fought everyone who there is to fight at like the heavyweight and won the heavyweight belt.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't be against. Like I wouldn't argue the case if they give it to Leon. It'd be great for him, wouldn't it? But I just don't see that they'll do it yet. I think they'll take like kind of they want the middleweight division to move a bit and shake up a bit because like Adesanya have been lapping people, haven't he? He's beat Jared's there as well. Jared Cannonier, you know, he could jump in there, like, but Adesanya had lapped everyone until Strickland have come and beat him. So it's kind of like, I think that they'll want that division to move a little bit. But that's the next big card, isn't it? Is Leon and Colby.
Do you think, like, no disrespect to Leon, but do you think he's not like active enough for them to make that happen? Do you know what I mean? Because there's maybe like 6 to 9 months in between most of his fights. Like, he's leaving time for these contenders to grow and have a spot against him. Potentially.
I also think that the Colby fight, as much as we all want to see Colby in there because he brings the views and he brings entertainment, they kind of have chucked Colby in there, haven't they? You know, you haven't really fought for like 2 years or whatever it is.
Was it Masvidal his last fight?
Which is what, like 18 months ago?
Yeah.
Nearly 2 years by the time they fight. So, like, I think by chucking Colby in there, they've kind of left now a waiting list of contenders. You've got Rachmanov and Bilal, who are they fighting?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so.
But you know, one of them's going to be waiting. Usman's always in with a shout, and I don't know. Islam's talking about coming up.
Yeah, that's true.
I think they got more chance of Islam coming up and fighting for the welterweight title than they have of Leon going up for them. Because I love Leon, massive fan of Leon, but I think UFC likes the brash trash talk who's gonna do this and gonna do that, and gonna rip your head off. And Leon's not really that guy, is he? He'll have it, you know. He'll talk a bit of shit, but he's more of a bit like me, I suppose. Keep himself to himself. If you want an issue, he got an issue, but he's not one of these guys who's throwing dollies at buses and fucking pushing and shoving it the way in. So, and Islam's obviously got a massive following, hasn't he, in the Middle East? So I think that'd be more likely to happen, to be honest.
Do you see the Ian Gary thing?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, well, look, it is what it is. You can't knock Leon, can you? Because at the end of the day, if another UFC featherweight say, I want to come and train at your gym, want to come get some rounds in now and then, it's fine. But if you want to come and train at the gym every single day, but then 6 months down the line, you're like, oh no, I will fight you though. Be like, well, so you're going to come and, you know, you're going to come and use the gym and the coaches and the facility for your training camp, but then if they offer you to fight me, you're going to be like, yeah, let's fight. I feel like we'd be exactly the same way. We'd be like, well, no, I don't really. I
think it's completely understandable.
That don't really work for me, like, you know, and I completely get where they're coming from. Why give up a potential future opponent? Because Gary's fucking good. Like, Gary could well be in a position in 12 months where he's ready for a title shot if he keeps going the way he's going. So why give a potential future opponent the use of your gym and your coaches who are going to, in essence, make him better? Because there's no denying Renegade's probably the top gym in the country. So if you're in the UK, especially for Gary, because they got like big middleweights, big welterweights. So if you're gonna do a fucking training camp there, you kind of got to have a bit of loyalty to the team, like which is fine. And yeah, you're great, you train. But if you're gonna in 12 months say, all right, I'll go back to Florida and train and we'll fight, then you kind of think like, because Chael Sonnen made a good point. He's like, he's shown that he will fight teammates. He's fighting Luke Gay. They've trained together, you know. And so yeah, I get where Leon's coming from. I think DC said it as well, didn't he? He said that the reason he went down to light heavyweight is because Cain Velasquez was the heavyweight champion. He was like, well, Cain Velasquez have brought me in to train with him, so I can't then say, yeah, but me and you will fight because you've brought me and I'm using your gym. This is now my gym. So I think he's within his rights. You know, it's just one of them. It's like, this is where cross training gets a little bit sticky. You know,
I think it's probably different if he brought him in for a camp for some sparring or something.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. But he hasn't, is he? He's kind of like, yeah, I don't think Leon brought Ian Gary in. I think Ian Gary just kind of like is in the UK and is like, I'll go training, which understandable. But I think, you know, this is where cross training gets a bit sticky, because when you got all top guys in a country training together, eventually some of those guys are going to have to fight each other. So then it's like, it makes it awkward for the coaches. It makes it awkward for the fighters, because you think, well, if two coaches from the gym go to one and two coaches go from the other, I'd be thinking, well, them two coaches know me just as well as these two coaches know me. Do you know what I mean? And so yeah, I get it. I think he's within his rights to say it. And at the end of the day, when you are champion of the world and you're part owner of the gym, you call the fucking shots.
I agree, mate. I also think it didn't need to be a headline. Do you know what I mean? I know, like, Ian's all over like the social media and all, but like, I don't know. That's probably put a lot of people off from having him like there as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think the media blew it out of proportion to what it was. Like,
yeah, I think it was probably pretty civil, wasn't it?
It made it sound as if like they've had a big bust up in the gym and he's kicked him out. But like, I think it was a case of, listen, we could be fighting in fucking 12 months, so no, you're not training yet. You know, just as it would be like, I don't know, if I fucking signed the PFL and they said me and Brett are gonna fight.
Yeah, if Brett was a champ and
you
were
if Brett was a champ and I'm trying to be the champ, they're gonna be like, well, you two are gonna have to fucking work this out, and one of you's gonna have to go elsewhere. Do you know what I mean? Not that would ever happen. I'd never fight fucking Brett. But I think that's the difference. When you're legit teammates, like me and Brett are legit teammates, friends, really good friends. Like, I would never, one, if you could offer me fucking 10 million, I wouldn't want to fight him. Maybe we fucking put on a bit of a shit show and fucking,
you'd have a draw, would you?
Yeah, and split the money, like. But I'm saying, I would never want to fight him in a competitive fight, because he's my friend and I've trained him every day for the last 3-4 years. So it's like, I've got an emotional attachment to Brett. When he fights, I'm nervous and I want him to win, and I'd be fucking devastated if he didn't win, and I'm just relieved when it's over. Whereas like when you're cross training like that, I think it's more of a like you're just bodies for each other. You're not really like Renegade. They've got their team, haven't they? But they have a lot of guys come in to spar, and I think they kind of just they don't have that same sort of feeling towards them as you would to yourself, so, to your teammates. Sorry, and we have guys come cross training with us. We have guys come up from all different gyms to come do some sessions, and there's no bad feeling. They're great guys, and Joyce sparring them, get really good rounds in them. But you kind of feel a little bit different towards your own mates, towards your own teammates when they are fighting in comparison. Yeah, like the boys I spar who come up from me, I want to do well, and I would never wish like. I'm not saying I'm like fucking thinking, well, if he loses, like I'm thinking like, fucking yeah, come on, I want him to win, but I'm an hell of a lot more invested when it's someone like Brett or Scotty or Josh. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I seen that. We've still got a minute. I seen that with Brett when Scott was fighting.
Yeah, you can see it, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if that had been someone who just comes up and spars once every couple of weeks, he wouldn't have been half as invested. He would have wanted him to win, but he wouldn't be like fucking on eggshells watching him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I get where Leon's coming from. I gotta be fair, it's like one of them. It's you just gotta find a gym sometimes, haven't you, and settle down and be like, this is where I train, and these are my coaches, and I'm not gonna fight the guys from this gym.
Is it because is Luke still training in the gym Gary was training in? Then is he kind of?
Well, I think Gary's kind of trains everywhere. Then he like done bits with Charles in Brazil. Obviously, he does his camps mainly out of Killcliff. And then he's been in the UK training, I think, kind of, for the last couple of months, 6, 12 months, whatever it is. When did he last fight?
He fought, what's his name? Jeff? No? Neil Magny, was it?
Neil Magny. He beat the shit out of Neil Magny, didn't he? So, but yeah, I just think they've kind of offered him Luke, and I know Luke has trained with that Killcliff since they were like the Black Zillions, which is fucking hell nigh on 10, 12 years probably. So the loyalty's obviously going to lie with a guy who's there every single day rather than, maybe not even loyalty, but they just probably kind of like, look, he trains you every day. We haven't seen you for a couple of months. We're going to have to corner him. Do you know what I mean? It was the same when Usman fought Gilbert Burns from there. They'd done a lot of training together, but Usman had gone to Trevor Whitman, and it was like, right, well, I'll do my camp here and you do your camp over there and we'll just be friends after, which is fine, I get that, but I suppose you can't, I don't know, it's maybe some people have a different dynamic to how I'm thinking about it, but that's how I would look at it. Like, I wouldn't want to fight none of my teammates, and
I think it's totally fair, though, isn't it? I mean,
I'd be happy to spar a future opponent, but I wouldn't want a future opponent in the gym every single day watching me train and learning from me. And then in 12 months after fighting, that's just my view on it.
Especially if you're the champ. I mean, if you're both coming up, it's maybe a little bit different. But like, if you're the champ and that they're literally training, you're their end goal. It's like,
yeah, of course. Well, that's it. Yeah, that's bang on, isn't it? It's like ultimately, although he's training for other guys, the end goal is to fight for the belt. And chances are in 12, 18 months, Leon's still going to have the belt. So unless Kobe comes in and pulls off a big upset, but. Yeah, I mean, I completely get where he's coming from with it.
Yeah, I agree. What else?
Cordina. Did you watch the Cordina fight?
I've only seen highlights, if I'm honest with you. I haven't watched the whole thing.
Yeah, there's a little bit of people calling fucking robbery. The Yanks calling robbery, but it was never a fucking robbery. It was a close fight. I thought Joe won by 3 or 4 rounds, to be honest. Maybe watching it with a biased eye. But I thought it was the right decision. He deserved to win. Didn't look his best. Like when you watch him against the guy in Cardiff when we went to watch in April, didn't really look his best. I don't know if it was like a weight cut or the way it was or whatever. I don't know what it was. I haven't had a chance to speak to him over it, but didn't look as good as his last 2 performances. But still got it done on a bad day against a guy who got a good record, is tough as fuck. Yeah, no complaints. Like I thought he won comfortably. Or I don't want to say comfortably, but I thought it was never a up in arms who won. Do you know what I mean? When the bell went, I thought, yeah, he's got it.
Weirdo setup, wasn't it?
Wasn't it like 300 people there or something? Is it a casino or something? Where was it to? Malta, was it? Or Moldova, something like that.
Fucking hell. Milan? No?
No, I want
Monaco.
Monaco.
Yeah.
Yes, Monaco.
Someone must have paid a lot of money for that to happen there.
Well, they do one a year there, didn't they?
Really?
Yeah, so I'm guessing some rich fucker from Monaco must put it on. Yeah, it was a mad setup. You know, to go from fighting in front of a sold-out Motorpoint Arena, or whatever it's called now, to that must have felt weird for him, I suppose.
Yeah, it must have been a bit anticlimactic in some ways. But then, I don't know, he's a world champion. I'm sure
money talks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure he got paid well for it.
Yeah. I'm glad as well, because he's done a lot of work, to get to where he's at.
Oh yeah, and he deserves it. It's like you watch him skillfully. In terms of UK World Boxing Champions, Joe's fucking, for me, one of the most skilled, if not the most skilled boxing wise. You know what I mean? There's some big fights on the table for him now.
I'd love to see it as well. Put a Shakur in with him.
You've got the Well, Shakur's going to go up a weight, so I don't think you'll fight Shakur. You've got the unification bout with I think it's I can't remember if it's Foster. He's an American guy. He's got a WBC belt. He's calling for Joe flat out on Twitter. There's also talk of Lee Wood. Lee Wood's going up. Lee Wood just fought Warrington. He's going up a weight now to Joe's weight because he's saying the weight cut's killing him. And he's got a big following, Lee Wood, and he's been wanting to fight in a Nottingham Forest Stadium. I know Joe wants to fight in the City Stadium, so there could be a potential chance for... I'd like to think they do it in the Cardiff City Stadium because Joe's the champ. And then Lee Wood's always in a barn burner. You know, he's tough as fuck. It's hard, durable, but I think Joe probably be too technical for him. So hopefully they do it in the Cardiff one first, because they do it in Nottingham Forest and Joe fucking smokes him and there's no chance of having a rematch then. But yeah, there's some big fights there for him. And again, like we keep saying, he deserves them. He deserves a big money fight. He deserves those multi-million pound paydays because he's that good. I think ultimately though, for Joe, he'll end up having to go up a weight to get a big money fight. Because I think, was he fighting on 125? I think is the weight class. So it's like flyweight in MMA. So, but I think eventually he'll have to, because he was lightweight British champion when he fought Gavin Gwynn, which is like 135-ish.
Have you ever seen him in person?
Joe?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
He doesn't look that small, does he?
He's tall.
Yeah.
He's tall. He's like... Yeah, he's big for that weight class. For boxing as well, because boxers don't really cut weight, do they? He's big for that weight class. I think he could comfortably go up to 130, 135.
He looked a bit like you on the scales in his last fight.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? He did look... They call it weight drain in boxing. So I suggest that they've had a fucking weight cut. But they don't really do it in boxing. He did look drawn in. And again, maybe that played a part in the fight as well, as the way he wasn't as sharp as he usually was. And perhaps he gets this big fight with Lee Wood done, and then he looks at going up a weight. Yeah. I think 130, that's like where Tank fights, and I think Shakur has gone up to fucking 35 with Devin Haney. I know Tank will fight that day, but there's some fights there, there's some big fights. So I'd like to see Joe get that in the next sort of 12, 18 months. I don't think he'll fight again this year. Now it'll probably be March or April, I'm guessing. If they want to do stadium fight, it may even be the summer.
Yeah, probably. But they have to put a bit of promo into that, won't they?
And one last thing to wrap up. There's talks we've seen online of... I've seen two talks, Francis versus Chisora, or Francis versus Joe Parker in Saudi, December 23rd. So I'd be interested to see if they pull that one off.
That's a quick turnaround, man.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a mark on him, did he? To be
no,
fair?
I think he fucking hammered the pair of them as well, to be fair. Chisora's obviously over the hill a little bit now, and Joe Parker's still decent, but I think...
Interesting to see if this will kind of show a little bit. It was a bit of an off night for Fury as well, but this will show the levels
because I think
then,
people will expect Francis to go in there against that caliber opponent and fucking nail him out there. But it doesn't always work like that, do it? Like you said, styles make fights. Did Fury have an off night? We don't know. We don't want to take nothing away from Francis. But if I was him, I'd all look for the Joshua or the Wilder fight. Because if he goes in and out with Chisora, and even if he wins but it looks a bit ropey, it kind of takes the anticipation for them bigger fights off a little bit. I seen someone talking about it only done 70k pay-per-view buys, but then I seen Ariel Awani posting about how worldwide it was close to 400,000 or 500,000, which isn't bad, you know what I mean? The average UFC does about 2.
Well, I take it as I bought it, and I don't buy many.
Yeah, I fucking bought it as well. So,
and I swear everyone I know bought it.
Yeah, exactly. So 70k views, I think that was only in the UK. But look how many people are streaming and illegally streaming these days. Do you know what I mean? I reckon they probably done 400-500. Gotta be with fucking two heavyweights like that.
I don't think they would have made their money on it.
Oh no, I don't think they give a fuck them Saudis. No, they just do what you want, boy. They had a fucking concert on for an hour and a half
that's
before.
What I'm saying. I think they must have lost money, but
Like, put it this way, for Eminem to sit in the front row for fucking 5 hours, that couldn't have been he didn't come over just for the first class flight. He must have got paid handily for it. But yeah, fucking, I think we're up to date there, aren't we?
Think so, mate.
We got some big guests lined up. Won't name no names in case of dropouts and stuff like that. But we got about 4 guests lined up now, ready for before Christmas. Joe's going on a little holiday next week, so we should have one a week. I'm thinking, won't we?
I think we got one a week.
So
we want to do a Christmas special as well. So if you got any ideas,
any ideas? We're thinking of pulling in a special guest. We got ideas of who it's going to be, but if you've got any requests, let us know. And or any ideas for this. What did we do last year? We did like a quiz last year, didn't we?
Yeah, we did a quiz.
To spice it up a bit.
You had to send a text off Howell's phone, didn't you?
Oh yeah. Okay, no. We have to spice it up a bit this year, I think. We'll decide what we can do.
Good luck out.
Yeah, as always, guys, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. Thanks for tuning in. Anyone interested in the Tanked Up t-shirts? We're a bit of a delivery issue, but they should be here in the next week or two. So those who have ordered will get theirs straight away. And I think we've got about 10, 20
10, 15
space.
Like
so if you do want one, message, I'm not on Instagram at the minute, message Joe or message the Tanked Up page, and we can arrange for you to sort of pre-order so you don't miss out. But other than that, Joe will keep you updated on the page about when they're back and releases for the guests and stuff like that. So other than that, we'll see you next time.